Hey again. Yeah, so I was coming to the end of the tunnel here of my message, sharing, the story, my story, because I feel like that's what it's about, the connection is the story. Um, what's the meaning? It's what was shared, right? I mean, it sounds like a cliche in a way, but everybody loves the cheese. People say it's cheesy or it's corny because they didn't get there first. Because who doesn't like cheese, right? Who don't love cheese? You know, I love that cheese.
Anybody on there?
No, I just turned it back on because it blocked me literally again, and I was just like, one more time.
Anybody watching?
No, not right now.
Oh.
Who don't love the cheese, man? My story begins with my mom. Um, I feel like my mom was like the cheesiest, and I loved it, um, and I love it. Um, I was just talking with my sister a minute ago on the phone. Just talking a minute with my sister, and we kind of got into an argument. Um, I would prefer to use a different word for it, but I think for simplicity's sake, I'll stick with that. And because there's so much. I mean, there's history in family, right? And that's the thing. We kind of see it from the outside in, and we're like, oh well, we might have these ideas and stuff, and that's why we got to communicate, share your story. Say, tell, I mean, you don't have to, but why not? I mean, again, people love it. I mean, I love stories. I know many people love, going to movies for that reason, reading books. I mean, it's again, it's what, you know, it's this life. It's a big story. His story, history, right? Um, and someone here with me, you know.
I can't lean over. I can't see me sit.
Yeah, there's someone right here.
What's up?
Yeah. We're trying to figure out what to do. We had a long day and we're just kicking back now.
Oh.
And yeah, going to sea soon and whatnot, so
Power off.
I'm trying to celebrate, here and now. This moment. You don't try to control the moment, Yeah, let the moment teach you. You call me Rick.
What?
Huh?
Rick?
Right? Or am I Morty? I don't know. So I'm Rick, man, right? Right?
Did you see all of Rick and Morty?
No.
Oh.
But from what I've
you don't
seen.
know.
But from what I've seen.
The last episode was really crazy.
Oh, yeah. I
Want to
bet.
go watch it?
Somebody came on.
Came on. Who is it?
I don't know. Anyway, yeah. I mean, what I'm saying, right? Me and someone out here, we're kicking it, and what I'm saying is that, like, share your voice. And that's the thing. I'm trying to do the best I can with myself, because I mean, that's the thing. I got a great story, and, I feel like we all have a great story, but, it's real, it can be hard, because people will turn it in their own thing, right? Whether that means, it's going to manifest in different ways, but, you might as well. I feel good though. Anyway, my family, my story is, my mom said, that we all are actually like, a family unit. We think as a unit of the family, and she naturally would be, she would attribute that to Sun Myung Moon as her inspiration of that philosophy. And it makes sense to me, because I cannot separate myself from my mom and my brother and my family. I mean, I am my family. I am also my own man. Not ironically, but my point is, my story with my mom. It starts with my mom, right? And I was talking about she was born on the West Coast and she had to move around a lot in her youth, and so much happened for her and her dad, and her mom had to raise her alone. And again, I'm just, to me, I'm still writing her book, and I'm still like, day by day figuring out, how to share that story, because she's got a copy out there, but I want one that, just can reach an audience well, and so that's why I share my story. I do it for her. I remember one time, I'm jumping back to another conversation I had from someone I called a friend from Seattle, and she was like, she said something about that, and do it for her. It was an episode of The Simpsons where Homer goes into, he goes back to work to the nuclear plant after all these things happened, and Mr. Burns, he plasters right in front of him, "You're here, don't forget, you're here forever." And because he needed the money or something, but he posted pictures of Maggie all over the "don't forget," and it read, "Do it for her, forever, don't forget," right? And he put the pictures, so it said, "Do it for her." And Cindy told me about that, and I love that episode too. And that's what I'm saying again. So, our stories are connected, we all have such unique stories. But it's the language. It's the language of our day. Like we say, right? But anyway, I do it for her, and of course I do it for many things, but my priority is, for her, because, I don't, because, anyway, it's because, oh man, she, actually she made my life, magical. That's the word. She made everything magical. We went to the Cryptozoology Museum in North Carolina, ran by Steve. It's a great museum, actually. He's got a haunted doll there, plenty of Bigfoot plastered things, and he's collected all these stories from locals and, all over the nation. And he's he's a great salesman. He's, but, she loved believing in the impossible. So, and it's practice, but my point, that's the thing. I'm kind of venting a little bit, but I'm also getting all the story straight, or learning how to say the story. So anyway, I remember when I was a kid, there's so many different things that stood out. I remember I was actually on the phone with my sister. I was telling her about this one weird memory I had when I was a kid. We had the family were at a sushi bar or a sushi restaurant, and this dude, he kind of, he somehow said that he recognized me, but I was a kid. I was a little kid. I was like, I couldn't have been more than 5, maybe 6 total. But he was right there in the middle, and it just felt so. I mean, when I see it in my mind's eye, it just feels so unusual because it was right there in the middle of the public, and as a grown man, and my family was right there, and nobody. That's the thing. Nobody seemed to be off put, and neither was I. I was just like, because I didn't feel like I knew that guy, but he seemed to believe that he recognized me. Ain't that crazy, man?
Yeah.
And I was so young, but I remember I talked about it with my mom a long time ago, a couple years ago.
Do you know you?
I don't know, man. I don't even know who that guy is now.
Wow.
But it's just this one random memory. But it stands out, because there are certain memories that, that you just sometimes, take a while to come to the surface. And again, a lot of times you don't even want to talk about them, or you don't, it's like hard to. My point is, I was telling that to my sister, and I guess it's just like accepting the suffering. To me, is a big part of it. The 12-step program, a lot of times will be like, you have to accept the first step is to accept that you're powerless to the force, the creator. And that's when you can break the denial, you can kind of begin to accept, right? And, it's standard grief therapy, right? I mean, it's standard, you got to go through the 5 stages: denial, anger, bargaining, sorrow, and acceptance. So if you realize that, you're have this defense for something, then you may, and then you don't have to use energy that way. Where you going?
What?
What are you trying to?
I'm trying to. Where'd the wood go?
I just think about, I go back to my mom, and I think, like, there's so much of her that people don't know, but anyway, I was just, I was just saying this to someone a second ago, like, her funeral was like one of my proudest, it was like my proudest moment. I mean, and it might come off as a little strange, but it's true. Because obviously I loved her, and like, I want everybody to love her, at least like I do, if not more, or, you know what I mean? And like, and people were talking about her, right? And people, you could feel it in the audience, you like, we had the video of her playing like one of her songs, and, it's like, you can just feel it, it's like, everyone was sad to see her go. Anyway, and that's the thing, I just love talking about her, because she was, one big heart, as, many people, as one person, as Miss Susan Edwards, I believe, was saying, and maybe Elridge too, but, sorry, it's a funny way to do things, but I'm a fun guy, so.
We're on some fun guy.
Yeah.
Anybody there?
It was, and then no.
Not anymore.
Yeah.
What do you want to do now?
I wanna live, bro. You're like, okay, well.
Okay. Yeah. We're alive.
and I'm telling my story, bro.
Oh yeah.
I'm telling my story to the world, to everybody. And maybe it's not coming off right now, but I'll get it right. My my point is to share your voice again. My point. That's the thing, and I would say, learn to float. Learn to go with the flow, and that means you're floating. That's the title of her book.
Oh, that was your phone.
Yeah. Oh, somebody just.
Somebody call you?
I don't know. I think I got.
Oh, you got low battery.
I don't know. I'm good. Anyway, yeah, her book is Learning to Float. We were writing that together for a couple of years, even during the end of her journey with the cancer and everything. And she did get a copy to Chungpyeong, which is great. I'm so glad that. Thank you. But again, I'm gonna finish the copy for for everybody, and she was okay with that. We talked about it all the time. But as surprising as it may come off, she could be shy in some ways. Man, life is it's a crazy journey, so many twists and turns. Yeah, I didn't think she was gonna die. I thought we were gonna make it work. I thought she was gonna live to a healthy 100. That's what she would always say. I know she didn't want to die, So, I'll finish her work. Yeah, gentleness. I think about nature sometimes. Like, Family Guy. There's this one episode where, like, what was it? There was like a Bigfoot, or there was something happened. There was like, in the family. Remember? You know what episode I'm talking about? Where like, it was like, they had to let him go at the end.
Oh, like from
It was like the Hendersons.
Like copying the Hendersons?
Yeah. And he's
okay.
like, and Peter's like, there's a universal language. It's called love. And it's like, and I think about that, because it's like, think about like nature, actually. This is another, wait, tap to invite viewer. Okay. Hey. Who is that? Is that my man, Josh, right there? Oh, hey! Bro, I'm gonna be on the boat soon. But you just got off, I know. Anyway.
You gonna invite him?
I don't know, I think he's watching.
Anyway.
But I'm saying, my mom, it's like, yeah, love is a universal language, and I think about this with nature, because my mom would say, again, about like Sun Myung Moon, sometimes people were surprised how like the fish were in tune with him. They would come, and they would be there right when he arrived, and she's like, he had a secret, and she knew what his secret was, and you know what it was? He fed the fish. So it's like it's part mystery, part practical. It's like she did the same thing every morning. She'd go out to the lake and just feed the fish, and she'd record it, and her Facebook is still up there, so you can still see the days she'd go out there. And that's the thing, part mystery, part practical, but,
Oh yeah, I had a notification the other day of something on my timeline saying share memory with Laura Hayashi.
Yeah. And somebody is on her account sometimes. I'm like, but they do it really well. That's why I'm not upset about it, because I see her account commenting on things sometimes, and I'm like, who is this? but it's always pretty. It seems like it's at least pretty close to what she might say. That's why I'm like, whoever it is that's doing that, is.
That's kind of fucked up.
It's but it's all. I mean, like, I feel like it's coming from a good place.
It's nice.
Keeping
our memory.
Right. No, because if they were going off doing crazy things, saying things on her account, I'd have to do something, but
Yeah.
it seems to be surprisingly in tune with what she would say. Um,
Yeah.
and so, she's and again, she's just like, she's always been my hero. Um, incredibly, like I said, she made everything magical. Um, it's no coincidence that she got, that she ensured that me and my brother could play magic. Hey, hey, bruh. What's up, bruh? What's up? What's up? We got some mackerel? Yellowfin? What are we catching? What's in the net? 40 ton? Big bag? Big bag? There you go. All right. Anyway, I'm saying, it's like, share your voice. That's kind of that's learning to float. That's, to me, so some people ask me about her, like, the title, like, what's it about? And, she had this incident when she was a kid. She was a little kid, 6, maybe younger, actually, probably younger. I think she was 4, actually. But she somehow got pushed into a pool, and she didn't know how to swim at that point. And so naturally, it was incredibly traumatic. But somehow she said that she reached a point and she remembers that her body relaxed, and that allowed her to kind of rise to the surface. And it always stayed with her. And again, my mom is like that, like she has these experiences. She had this experience. Again, she had leukemia when she was a kid too. On her video on the YouTube that she did, she talks about this in her funeral. The video that we played, that we presented live on my account. It's on my Facebook account. It's on her YouTube. And, she said this. It's like, and I know because obviously, I knew this, but like, again, it's like, she had leukemia when she was a kid. And, obviously it tortured her mom, my grandmom. And, but it came to a point where her mom was like, she's not my daughter, right? She's God's daughter. And she gave it over to God. And it's true. Whatever it sounds like, might be cheesy, whatever, no matter. It's just truth. She says on her video, a 60-year remission story. And maybe that's the thing. I mean, like, there's many parts to a story. So, maybe I know she didn't want to go, and I know she went too soon. So, we'll deal with that. But part of it is out of our hands, and we let that float. And all my people out there, thanks for tuning in. But I also gotta let you know, as most people probably already know, but I just don't want to, do the best I can to, I don't want to encourage something that's not good for you. But I'm also doing the best I can to be honest and, But anyway, so yeah, and who knows? This is probably not even gonna stay public, to be honest. I'm gonna keep it for my own records. But that's the thing, I'm saying, like, we gotta live, transparently, because that's justice, right? I mean, in the court of law, right, when we go over the evidence, there's the thing. It's a strange thing for me to say I love watching these murder mysteries, but there's something that draws me to it. I actually reached out to Mr. Ballin, about the case with, what's her name? It doesn't come to me right now, but it's a pretty well-known case. It's very recent. Went missing out in the West, out west in America. It's like, maybe it's not Oregon or something. Very forested area. But it's very recent. Like last year, she went missing. But I reached out to him about it because it's very mysterious. It's extremely mysterious. Just to give you a brief idea of what happened. It's during COVID. Okay, this is during COVID. This case, this woman. Again, I'll remember her name, and hopefully, if anyone wants to know, they can reach out to me, and I can retrieve it for you. But she basically takes COVID as an opportunity to do things that she wouldn't have been able to otherwise. And so she goes out into the forest, and she was a survivalist. Like she was like I think she might have even taught like survival skills at a university. or something. So she knew what she was doing. She just hadn't been able to do some things of it, and she was quarantining in a sense away from people. And anyway, but she goes out into the middle forest because she just wants to experience the side of her skills, and quickly, and she sets up camp in this well-known area. It's like, there's a lot of dangers outside the area, but she knew what she was doing. She sets up camp, and then a couple days later, maybe about like a week or so, I think it was about between a couple days to a week later, there was like some hikers that came across her campsite, and they noticed that it seemed off. It seemed like it had been kind of like rummaged through, and like, it was very disorderly. And so they kind of just, but sometimes things happen, whatever, maybe something happened. But then as they were walking by, something just drew one of the guys to come closer. And once they started seeing that it just, even though it was disorderly and whatnot, it wasn't just disorderly in a normal way. And, they decided to report it. And once they did report it, the police did do an investigation, and they found that, they knew that the woman that was out there, she had told her family that she was going out there, and they understood the story, but they didn't understand where she had gone because her campsite was all disorderly. Anyway, but again, it was kind of like, she was a grown woman and a survivalist, so they're kind of like, well, we'll just leave it at this for now. We have this on the record. But then there was another sighting of her, about a week or so later, and she was on her own, and she was just staring off into the distance. These hikers passed by her, and she was literally like a statue or stoic. There was something about her. They said that the hikers that were like, they were really close to her, but they didn't even like she didn't even notice them. She was just so enraptured in whatever it is that she was looking at. It kept her from even interacting with the hikers that came to her. So that was the second sighting, and it was like maybe again a couple days later than the first. And then there was a third sighting, and so this time after the police found out about the second sighting, naturally they investigated, but she was gone from where they'd seen her, but they did find her car that was a couple miles away, but again it just seemed off. There was something about it that was weird. It was like it was off the road, and it even was like, I don't know if it was turned over or something like that, or no, it wasn't turned over, but it was like, it seemed like it had been left in a hurry or something. So they're like, this is just a weird thing. Anyway, but see, I love these stories because I believe we can turn things around, right? I believe that, like, we don't know what's going to happen. So if we don't know, let's take a step, and if we've taken too many steps and we've reached an impasse, let's leap. That's my strategy. That's the general gist of how I go about things. And I think, and honestly, I think most of it, we do that without, maybe articulating it that way, but, again, I like to communicate. So, anyway, but the final sighting of this woman, right? There was these two hunters that were off in this area that she'd been seen in, and actually one of the guys, they noticed that there's this woman sitting really high up in a tree. She's like just sitting, just relaxed. She's even kind of like propped up or something, just kind of like looking way off in the distance. And they're like, whoa, that's weird. They never seen like somebody way up in a tree, and the demeanor was so calm. It was strange. And again, same thing as other hikers. They saw her, they would just say the same thing, that she was like, it almost felt like she was in a trance. Because normally, again, if you're in the forest, you're in the wilderness, and you see hikers around you, you're going to want to let them know. But she did not even seem to notice that they were there, and that's why it kind of struck them as odd. That's why they reported it. Okay? Anyway, but so the hunters are like, again, they never seen this before, so they go over, and they're like, they actually try to talk with her. They try to like, hey, are you okay? Like, what's going on? And then, but again, she didn't even notice. She did not interact with them at all. And so eventually they moved on. They're like, well, again, this might be strange as I don't know what, but she seems to be pretty calm, and she's a grown woman, so we're just going to go on, my point is this, right? Again, so anyway, but the case remains unsolved, and she's still missing. That was the last reported sighting of her. Reported. You may have seen her and not even noticed, or not even, reported it. Yeah, once again, anyway, so my point is that, again, these stories, these unsolved cases of missing people, I love tuning into them because, even out here, North Florida, I saw this, there's this poster, Christopher Thomas, he's been missing for many years now, actually, and there's a reward for information that leads to, actually it's a murder. I think, I don't know all the details about his case. I looked into it a little bit. Christopher Thomas, I believe, I don't know if they ever found a body, but he's presumed. And I don't know why it's like, if you go to the website again, Christopher Thomas, you look it up, but he was out here in the area, North Florida. And anyway, but I love these cases because I believe, that sometimes they turn around. That's the thing. There are stories where people are found or just show up out of nowhere or, have a story to bring back. And that's, again, where I'm going to take you to. See, we have a story, each of us, and sometimes, again, it's intimidating to share it because we don't know how people are going to react to it, but we got to, you got to know you, but I say we got to because, again, my mom, because my brother, my father, my sister, my nephew, all the people, my friends, my companions, all the people in my life that I love, that I cannot turn my back on. I share my story for them, and I share my story, to them, but, they know a lot part of the story, and that's great, but sometimes I jump around a little bit, forgive that. My point is, again, so it's like learning to flow, right? It's like you go with the flow, then you gold, you shoot for the moon, you be in tune with them stars, superstar, I had a one at the Hotties today, hey, play it back for me, don't trade the parade for a dime, alright. I'm saying this in the flow, because Moto, that's me. Sam Man. All right, here we go. Listen, all right. Thanks for tuning in. But what am my point again? Learn to flow. My mom's book that we were writing together. I'll never stop talking about my mom. You know what I'm saying? And the thing that I feel the most when people say things like, I said it to my man. I said it to my man Janae. Hopefully he out there. Hey, Anne-Marie. Thank you so much for being there. Much love, okay? I'm always so glad to see you wherever you are. She, and that's the thing. She always, let me bring it back here, okay? Learning to Float is her book, and it's her book. We're writing it together, but it's her book, and I'm gonna finish it. I'm working on it every day. People ask me, I'm so glad. Actually, when people ask me about her book, I love it, because it is a work in progress, but hey, like she would say, work is the best therapy. So, like you got to get that grind in, what I'm saying? That's what I'm saying. We're all here, we're all out here, right? The first noble truth, it's suffering, right? Life, it's a struggle, right? That's what I'm saying again. It's a struggle. We all go through this pain. And we can make it a lot more meaning, we can make it the meaning, the art, the connection, we can turn it into a story. And, let's keep the facts straight though, because again, it's connected. And when we keep the facts straight, we can include everyone. But if we start making things up, hey, if you want to brand it as fiction and you want to make up a story, great. I think that's awesome. But if you're going to label something as, a fiction, or you label something that's true as fiction, then you gotta, sort through the facts. And it makes, anyway, my point is, my point here is to show your voice, and again, it's a practice, right? You practice, that's how it gets perfect. Not everybody is a born storyteller. Actually, me and my sister used to joke about how we were never good storytellers. I still feel like, I'm still learning how to, do that better. Because a lot of it's audience, but still, I'm not gonna, it's my job to be, on my point. All right. So that's the thing. My mom, I love her. She's, and my family, we're a unit. Again, she would always say that. It's like we don't think of ourselves as isolated beings. Because we're not, right? We're actually a part of a grand story that's beyond us. And sometimes it's not grand either, but I feel like, to me, there's so many stories that are beautiful, right? I love hearing about, the triumph through the struggle, right? Like when the underdog wins, when the underdog comes back and provides a path for those who know that struggle bad, and that's why I say you got to keep going, get back up, I'm not Shia LaBeouf, I'm not Nicolas Cage, this is Samuel Hayashi, this is Moteyasu, this is, I'm gonna write that page for you, but get back up, I'm going back to sea soon, so, again, I'm trying to, but there's a lot of things, again, I'm talking about family and stuff like that, and, we all go through the struggle, right? That's the thing I was talking about with my sister on the phone, right? It's like, I'm telling her, like, when you represent somebody, you got to do it ethically, you know what I'm saying? Like, if you make up stuff about people's life, it has real consequences, So that's why you keep the facts straight, you keep the facts in front, and then you can bunt and whatever, but you just, because think about it, right? Again, we all go back to it. Anyway, let me see, okay? We all go back to it once a tragedy happens, so you might as well start with it, be consistent, even if the tragedy happens, stick with the facts, keep everything recorded, you know what I'm saying? Let everything, just, and it's a wisdom to understand that there's a difference between the protection and the defense. We all go through the struggle, so it gives you depth, right? It gives you character. Scars make your suit hard, so to speak. Anyway, I'm just gonna keep going on and on and on, but
how many viewers?
I don't know. It keeps changing now. I see my people though. I got Anne Marie Knuck on here and other people. My man from the boat, and and that's what I'm saying. It's like, imagination. Einstein said it a lot too. Like imagination, Tesla. A lot of scientists love to talk about the unknown, the imagination in a certain way, and that's great. If you haven't seen The Prestige, see it. My favorite movie. Okay, one of my, it's right there. It's like at that unbeatable level. So there's like many that are kind of at that level, but you can't transcend it, type of thing. It's like perfect. It covers magic, real magic, as well as illusion, as well as love, as well as adventure. It's got everything. And it's told masterfully by Nolan prior to The Dark Knight. Okay? And Nolan did so many. Christopher Nolan did Insomnia, okay, with Robin Williams and Al Pacino, okay? So go check it out. Life. Again, it's a grand mystery, but and it's some, and a lot of times it's also not. But again, the subtlety, the gentleness, there's a little tiny finesse. Not every day feels like magic, But again, I'm not being, I'm being a dead horse here. I'm gonna, for me, it's compassion, right? It's like to me, I feel like, it's the reward itself. I love, and again, it's like, I say it, and what is compassion? What is compassion? My brother always says you gotta get the definition down so people can, have some kind of language, right? What is compassion? Compassion is acceptance. Compassion is patience. Compassion is wisdom. Compassion is action. Compassion is a mystery too. Compassion, compassion is sacrifice, and it's also transcendence. Because that's the thing, right? Anytime you sacrifice, the truth is, okay, it's gonna hurt, but you will transcend the pain and become stronger by it. But don't go wild. Do it step by step, unless you know when you need to leap. Then you leap. But you go step by step, because everything in moderation and balance. But compassion, is beauty. For me, when people are compassionate to me, I'm like, this is life. Thank you. I need this so much. You have no idea. Every time you're nice to me, every time, I'm like, oh my God. Oh my God, I love it, thank you. Like, it's worth it. I made it through another day. Thank you. Oh God. Anne-Marie, thank you. Honestly, listen, every time, believe me, it lights up my day. Truly. I know you know that on some level, but I'm gonna say it anyway. I'm gonna say it again and again and again, because every time, I see you, I know you busy doing your thing, supporting me on all the different channels, on YouTube and all this stuff, you're always there, giving me support. Thank you. Thank you. You have no idea. That's what I'm saying. For me, I'm like, my mom, obviously my mom, my mom, she taught me that, never-ending compassion, never-ending love. When the world turns their back on you, she wouldn't, when the world turned their back on me, she wouldn't do it. No matter what. Always there. No matter what. If it was a family, she wouldn't. And that's the thing for me too. If it was my dad, if it was my brother, if it was my sister, it didn't matter. If it was anybody. There's a limit. Again, everything in balance, but anyway, she taught me that. And that's the thing. I love it. It's that love, it's that compassion. And that's the thing. I almost feel like that's the mystery. That's the answer. It's like the pain is there for the love. That's what on the boat I was thinking that one day. I'm waking up, I go onto deck, right, and I'm like, man, another day. Here we go. I'm feeling okay though. I'm feeling okay today. Like got some good rest, and we're gonna face another day hauling in tons of fish. Here we go, right? Come on, boys. I know you out there. And I'm like, man, the pain though. It's like, what am I here for, right? I'm here. I'm not just suffering because, I love the pain. No, I'm doing this because I got mouths to feed. I'm here because I got people that I love and that love me. Right? I'm doing this for that story. I'm doing that for us, and that's not something that, I'm going to put on the mantle necessarily, but maybe. Listen, what I'm saying again is, to me, it's compassion again, and you can see it no matter where you're coming from, whether it's Jesus or Buddha or whoever, whether it's just your own intuition, whether you know it, and it don't matter who know it. Maybe, you're one of those types, right, who go do your thing regardless. I remember my man, one of my mans, he was telling, like, actually, his girl, my friend, but, I don't know where, anyway, she told me that one time, like, her dad was someone that, never needed anybody's approval. More than anybody, she's seen that. This man was like, never needed anybody's approval. And I, it piqued my interest. I was like, this was the thing that she chose to note about him to me, who, this is my, he was my man, and so she was talking about my man, right? But she was his girl at the time or whatever. But and it's interesting because I see that too. Me and my brother, we used to always talk about that. Like, strength in a lot of ways is, again, it's a cliche, but it's like, doing things when nobody's watching, doing things when everybody's watching, like Dave Chappelle might say. But it's about having an inner compass. It's about doing things in a way that, you've come to, it's the truth. It's not about the opinion. It's about the facts. It's about the stats. Let me rephrase that. The subtle things, but that's kept straight on the record, because that's the thing. And we might miss it. We don't want to be judgmental. We don't want to be the, quick to, cast a judgment. But we do have to deal with reality. We got to deal with reality. It helps, right? The truth sets us free. And my mom would say, truth and love, they're two sides of the same coin, right? They're the different face for the same thing. Truth and love. Again, Sun Myung Moon. She attributed that to Sun Myung Moon all the time. And I see that too. There's no way we can live without love. At the same time, it's all suffering without the truth. It's all suffering without the truth. The truth is the ground. The truth is the logos. The truth is what keeps us in a continuity. My friend Karen, my friend Karen, she said that her son told her something when he was a little baby. And he said, the memories are for our, so that we can know each other, right? And she always remembered that, and I felt it, It's like, it's a beautiful thing, Again, a lot of people will say life, the universe, is God learning him or herself, like it's like a dance between the yin and the yang. And my man John Lowen likes to say it that way too. And that's a great way to see it. I think it makes it poetic. It's a dance, I'm going to the boat, so I'm, trying to get some things out and relax and, different things. But anyway, the truth sets us free. Love and compassion. I go, compassion, kindness, it's a clear purpose in life, though. But it's got many faces, Compassion isn't always, bright, shiny, white, knight, or, whatever, right? It's Prince Charming. Sometimes compassion is that ogre, that Shrek, that might look like a monster on the surface. It's the beast that the beauty has to turn eastward to get ready for, But again, that's what I'm saying. It's compassion. That's why a lot of gurus will say, again, it's all love. Everything is just love. It's all just love in a different face, in a different name, in a different language, And we have to keep learning, and earning that, because sometimes it's just receiving. It's just open your arms, and sometimes it's working for it. Excuse me, though. I'll be right back. Hold on.
Up?
I'm back. Me and Sonny here. We live in like the Florida boys do. Yeah, no gators around here, but always saying he always wants to take me to a gay bar. He keeps saying, I'm like, yo, why you wanna? What?
It's a song.
Oh yeah, it is a song. I know. Oh man. You gonna get in on this? I mean, you have something you want to say? Don't you want to chime in? Let everyone know. We got a couple people watching right now.
Who's there?
I don't know how to check who's watching. I mean, unless they comment, you don't know who's watching. But
I don't know. Oh god.
okay, that's fine. But anyway, love, right? Love until you can't, and even when and even then, right? That's like it's love. But just love as much as you know how. I feel like, to me, again, this is purpose, right? It's like, when I don't know what to do, as long as I haven't reached that limit, as long as I haven't reached the end of what I can do, to me, I'll be like, well, love, right? Forgive, it's like, because, I mean, again, it benefits yourself anyway. Like Dr. King said, he said, I've chosen love or kindness because hate is too heavy a burden to bear, and he's right. You can't beat that. That's the best way to say it. It's like, it carries you down. But again, it might not, but that's the thing. Sometimes you might be like, well, what about the people that, what about the human traffickers, right? What about the people that are being trafficked, right? What about the people that are being trafficked? Like, where's the love? Right? Where's the love? And I'll say, well, I'm glad that you bring that up, because the truth is they do need a voice too. And if you really want to do this, let's do it. You know what I'm saying? Because again, they need our help, right? I mean, more than anybody, I would say. People, it's a slavery today. I'm not trying to be dramatic, but I just don't know how to break through sometimes. I don't know how to, think about it. Right? It's people who are enslaved, and used. Anyway, I mean, I'm glad you bring it up, is the point I'm trying to say. Because, so I was talking with my friend earlier today, Maxine. She's saying, and we were talking about Jesus. She's Christian, and, I love, again, for me, Jesus is love, right? I mean, Jesus, it's all love, right? But Jesus is the clear, easy, beautiful, it's, that's the thing to me. And again, the truth about Jesus is way better than what people make up, and if you know me, we got into that, but I'll go into it as my float will determine. But side note, real quick, if you haven't floated yet, I recommend it highly. There's this place called Float Seattle. Oh my God, professional, beautiful, and it's an amazing practice, therapeutic, like I don't know what, but check it out, okay? And again, it's pristine service. Like I haven't, today, I used to work at Equinox a little bit, and that's where I signed up Ursula Burns, the previous CEO of Xerox. That's where I was in touch with David Duchovny. That's where, there's the other actors. It's a fucking, excuse my language. It's a celebrity A-list, whatever. People pay crazy money to go to this gym, okay? And I remember, it's like, that's the thing. They always, for a lot of Chris Uziak. We're not friends on here, but anyway. But there's a great dude, okay? Chris Uziak, he would say that. He's like, what makes our brand is the service. It's the service. We will get you what you need, to the best of our abilities, and I see that even more today, because people, and that's the thing, been through a global pandemic, so yeah, everyone's in a different stage and all this stuff, rediscovering themselves, all that stuff, but my point is, yeah, Float Seattle, phenomenal service. These guys, they're relaxed, you know what I mean? Anyway, but I can't speak for every location or whatever, but check out Float Seattle. What was it? Greenwood, Westwood, that location. And again, come at me if you need the specifics of where to go. It's a great spot. I highly recommend it. Incredibly therapeutic, incredibly empowering. And that, I just want to sidebar that real quick because I love it. John Lowen, if you see this, again, let me know if you got the receipt. I'm a man of my word. So, a lot going on, you know what I'm saying? Troy, I don't know if you see this, Troy, But I'm still waiting on that call. You know, listen, I ain't gonna say, Shoy boy, listen, hoist up the net. We ain't done yet. I'm in the flow, so gold already, man. I'm not even stretching, preparing, because the Nets are testing me with confessions, and I say, hit them like Letterman, you know. Freestyle 8 Mile, been this, done the tiles, you know, Mile High Clubs. Excuse my. I'm having a good time though. I might jump off though soon. I mean, I'm having a good time, and I am somebody who likes to, you know, even dialogue, right? I like to interact. I like it to be a group, or I like to be holistic. I like to have everybody, you know, in it. And if y'all listen to me, that's cool too. Believe me, I like to get my word out. Like I said, my story. I remember my brother. One time I remember, but this is where my brother is, Matthias. I remember one time I was like, you know, I got into some kind of situation with my family. You know, I think I was upset at my dad or something like that. And I'm like, you know, I really just want to share my story. And he's like, wow. And so he sits down and he's like, tell me your story. And I was so surprised that I didn't even know how to begin. But that's again why I'm doing it right now. It's a practice. It's for him. You know, my brother, my mentor, man. I mean, that's the thing. My brother, greatest man. You know, my brother. Yeah. My brother, man. He's the Mario to my Luigi. You know what I'm saying? You know, he can be the, what's it called, Spike, as long as I'm Vash. No, I can't, the red trench coat, no, I don't got the physique for it, but, you know. But that's why Superboy, though, it's a movie coming out, okay? It's an alternate universe. Nick Cage, as people a lot of now know, you know, he was, you know what I'm saying, he was, you know, be Superman and whatnot, but it didn't happen. I think for everybody's, you know, maybe, you know, I mean, with Henry Cavill, I think Henry Cavill is probably one of the best, you know, Superman. I mean, that dude, Superman Returns, I mean, it flopped, and okay, what was the guy? Kevin Spacey was Lex Luthor. We got, you know, Superman had a son. It was interesting, but I don't, you know, actually I do remember parts of it as I recall it, but Henry Cavill, I feel like he had the physique, right? He had that kind of demeanor. I feel like he did a really, you know, good job of being Superman. I mean, it's tough to be Superman, you know. It's like Mr. Perfect in a way, right? It's like you can't have a scratch, and even if you do, you know, I mean, well, actually, people love scratches on Superman, but the point is that like it's complicated, right? Anyway, yeah. So this is the thing. I'm you know, Superboy in this film with you know, as an adaptation. You know, Nick Cage. If you haven't seen that movie with Nick Cage, adaptation, one of in my opinion, one of his best films. Charlie Kaufman. You know, it's based off of the novel. Check it out. It's phenomenal. Actually, it's truly phenomenal. The quote that I always remember from that movie, as the twins, Charlie Kaufman and his brother, you know, they're talking, and he says this story, right? They're like I think they're facing some kind of danger, maybe someone was hunting them or something like that. But he's like, you know, they're kind of rehashing and reminiscing a little bit, and one of the brothers he says, you know, I remember way back in high school, you were always a certain way, and he said, way back in high school, I remember when the love of your life, you know, you finally built up the courage to ask her out, and you know, you went over to her, right, and you're so shy and you were so nervous, but you did it. You went over to her and you confessed it. You gave everything, right? You said exactly how you felt and what you know, all that stuff. But then you know, and then she said something or whatever, and it kind of, you know, didn't go exactly, but whatever. You walked away proud. But then what you didn't see, and I did, is that when she went back to her friends, she tore you apart. She made fun of you. She turns into nothing. And then his brother says, I did see that. And he's like, wait, man, what do you mean? Like, that was the love of your life. How did that not destroy you? You just built up the courage to finally do what you needed to do. And then you were trashed? You were made into dirt? What do you mean? Like, you saw that? He's like, well, this is what, he said, you are what you love and not what loves you. And that quote, I always remember from the film, adaptation. Nicolas Cage. Great film. I think, you know, again, it's a really interesting film because it's about a guy having a screenplay, trying to adapt his movie into a film, but it's the film that it's portraying. So it's very, Matrixy kind of meta. And I don't remember when the year was. 2002, I think. So it was after the Matrix, but nonetheless. Anyway, if you're on Arena, that's the thing too. Get at me, because I'm out there. I'm playing. I'm doing my Twitch and the YouTubes. Me and my brother, we just did a recent stream and everybody knows, Matthias. He's the great Hayashi. He's been doing. He runs the Magic. For decades. So as you can check out his YouTube or show him some love. That'd be great. Anyway, Alicia, just shout out real quick. Always been amazing, pristine, perfect. Alicia, always been beautiful, beyond words. You're amazing. I hope you're good. And you know where to reach me. So, but that's what I'm saying. And again, it's a struggle, right? It's that dynamic. There's a struggle, and then there's a beauty in the struggle, right? There's a beauty in the pain, right? And it's don't go look. I mean, I feel like it can be. It's a subtle thing, okay? Because, like Buddha said, you can get lost looking for beauty in pain. Now, there's wisdom to finding the beauty in the pain, but if you go out looking for it, you might get addicted to it, because it's strange. It's like, and people, and this life, right? This part of our journey, it's a strange one, right? It's like we love. It's articulating and communicating who we are and what we're trying to say. It's a lot. But so accept the pain, understand it, and you might, again, moderation. So maybe you're looking for it one day, maybe not the next. But the point is, it's like, it's the love. And what I'm saying? Like, show the love, give the love, give everything. You know what I'm saying? Like, what goes around comes around. Don't expect it, which is hard. I mean, do whatever you got to do. But I'm just saying, like, to me, again, it's love. You know what I mean? It's like, and that's why kindness, I mean, they're words, but they're also windows into worlds. And again, Family Guide, Peter was talking about the universal language, man. Everybody's doing IT. Come on, Morgan. Morgan Lee, where you at, bro? Are we going on the boat? Right, I saw you on the Warrior. What was that? I was like, yo, I was like, what? Are you kidding me? I was like, are you... What the? Yo, your mom. She texted something here. Okay. I think it's okay. Anyway. Morgan Lee, man. I don't think I have you on Facebook. I got to get you on Facebook, bro. I'm going to hit you up, actually. I'm talking to like he's watching it. He's on my Facebook. Anyway, hey, listen. Let me leave you all here, okay? Much love. I feel, I love y'all. You know what I'm saying? Like, and I mean that sincerely, but at the same time, again, it might seem trite, with the way things can be, but I hope you're doing all right. Get at me. I know that many people, are talking to me about the stuff, and, sometimes it takes longer for me to get back, and sometimes I'm busy with things, but, and sometimes I can't help with certain things. So, but, I'm here, and I but of course you gotta be respectful too. And my point is just that stay well, stay safe, stay healthy. You are appreciated. You're loved. Do you? You know what I'm saying? Share your voice. That was the whole point. Learning to flow. That's my mom's book. Okay, share your voice. Right? You never know how it's gonna affect somebody, and you never know how. You never know how much you're loved until it's gone, as they say. So just keep doing what you gotta do. Hey, Gideon's on here now. I'm just tuning out though. There he goes. All right, yeah. Much love again. Take care. Please, stay in touch, and hope I'll see y'all soon. Thank you so much for being here. All right, peace.